Hi, welcome to ISC West 2019. My name is Paul Ragusa. I'm the editor of Security Systems News. I'm very excited to have Keith Drummond. He is the Senior Director at IDIS. How you doing, Keith?
I'm very good, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Thanks.
So the show seems to be really exciting this year, packed show floor. How's the traffic been at the booth? What's your first impressions of the show?
Well, you know, one of the things I tell our team is we get out so rarely. We don't know what the floor traffic is.
Yeah, right.
We only know our traffic.
Yeah.
And if we say the floor traffic's bad and we have bad traffic, it's kind of a cop-out, right? We still got to get the people in.
Yeah.
And if the floor traffic is great, but we don't have enough people, you know, the inverse. So it really matters for us what's happening in our booth.
Yeah.
The little bit that I've got out, it does seem like it's very busy on the floor.
Yeah.
And our booth traffic is indicative of that. We've seen more people, particularly on day one, than we've seen in any other day in our 5 years at exhibiting.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. So 5 years ago, first time here, you started with direct IP.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how that evolution has come in the past 5 years in that area?
Yeah, in 2015 when we launched in the Americas, this was our launch. I think it was April 15th of 15. So we're standing there with a 2,400 square foot booth right in the middle of the action, and everybody that came in looked around and said, who in the heck is IDIS, and what are you doing in this location, right, with this size of a booth?
Yeah.
And we had a chance to tell them that we're at that time, a 17-year-old company at that time. We're coming up on 22 years soon, but we got the chance to tell them who we were as a manufacturer and the ODM side, which is why they didn't know our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And we were launching it in 15. So fast forward 5 years, people know why we're there. They know our story a little better, and they understand that the innovation we've been bringing to the market for over 2 decades continues, and now it's under the IDIS brand. So that's been a progression that's been really interesting to be a part of and a lot of fun, and it's very gratifying to see that people are now coming to us as experts in things like cybersecurity and things like the total solution that is a little bit of a misnomer a lot of times in the industry, but we really are nailing it, and I think we're seeing that come around after 5 years of evangelizing it.
Yeah, those are all great points. And you brought up cybersecurity. Obviously, it's at the forefront of everyone's mind here. How is IDIS addressing cybersecurity and its products?
Again, as a total solution, you know, I was asked yesterday, what should integrators look for?
Mm-hmm.
The integrators were asking that. What should we look for to how to address cybersecurity to our end users? And I think they don't have a lot of answers. They don't know how to handle it. And so when they're buying products from one manufacturer and from one software company and trying to bring all that together, the burden is really on them. So the way we're addressing it as a total solution is it should be baked into this total solution.
Absolutely.
And the way we're doing that is a couple of different ways. One is data access, on the data access side, how you get the data. And the other side is on storage. So in data access, we have something called direct IP. It's really a protocol for communications, but we have the ability with that to eliminate IP addresses for the most part in systems.
Yeah.
So traditionally, you're loading an IP address for every single camera.
Mm-hmm.
30 cameras, 3,000 cameras. That's 3,000 levels of places of vulnerability because there's a password for every one of those.
Good point.
So in our protocol, we can eliminate the vast majority, if not all those IP addresses. We ask people sometimes, where are the passwords for your IP addresses? In a spreadsheet on my desktop?
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Those are all vulnerabilities.
Everyone does that.
So if we eliminate those, that's the first step of creating a better platform for cyber. And that's on the data access side. There's some other things there that also matter, like built-in firewalls on our MVRs. So that's addressing it from the manufacturing side right out of the total solution.
Right.
So it's not something you're bringing in outside of the video surveillance ecosystem. It's baked in, if you will. And then on the storage side, we have chain fingerprint technology now baked into the solution. We have some other applications that like edge encryption at the camera side.
Interesting.
But then we also write in a way to the drives that's proprietary. We call it iBank, and it's just a proprietary way of writing to the drives as opposed to using the IS, and that also is a cyber tactic as well.
Smart.
Security tactic, yeah.
Yeah, those are all really great measures that you're taking and precautions. And, now, another topic that's been hot here at the show is AI, whether it's the promise of AI, and sometimes it's the overpromise of AI, right?
Yeah, right.
But I know IDIS has been a pioneer in this in this area, especially some of the founders of the company.
That's right.
Have done a lot of good research in these areas,
right.
and which has helped propel you. Can you talk a little bit about your approach to AI and what it means in a practical sense in today's world?
Yeah, sure. And you're right. Our founders are doctorates in artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's from 20 plus years ago. So they've always had this mission of moving there when the time was right.
Yeah.
I talked about direct IP. That's just really at the real why does it matter level for integrators. It's speed and ease of integrating these systems for the end users.
Yeah.
Taking out a lot of the complexity in what they have to do on a day-to-day basis. When we do something like AI, we want it to come to market from IDIS when we've got it to the point where it's just as easy to deploy as the rest of our stuff.
Yeah,
that's a foundation for what we're trying to do, is take out the complexity of integrating these systems for the integrators. So when we're ready to do AI, that's what it needs to look like as well. So we're there. We can do that. We can do that with the object detection. You know, I can say, tell me when I see someone with a blue shirt on in a red car going northwest in this particular region, and we can let it go in live view or in recorded view and look for that. So those things are today, they're real. What I really think is where it kicks in is when we get to behavioral stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So what we want to know is if everybody's walking this show floor, that's normal. When someone lays down on that walkway right there, that's abnormal, right? That behavioral activity.
Right.
How do we get to that point? Because the end users need it to be an application. They don't need it to be something that can do some standard stuff. They need it to be my operational environment. This is what's abnormal. Please let me know when that happens. And so we're moving towards that, and that's I think where the industry is as a whole, and it's where IDIS is looking at it. How do we do that complex analysis in a way that isn't burdening the integrator and having them out in the field trying to learn what artificial intelligence is? We just want them to be able to deploy it.
Yeah, that's really a smart approach. And then so what's the moving forward for the rest of the year? What's the product roadmap for the rest of the year, or the theme, the focus for the rest of the year?
Yeah, on the product side, it's to continue to roll out new cameras. I mean, at the end of the day, when an integrator or anybody walks this floor, the first thing that'll come off their mind is, I saw a new camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Totally.
The recording platforms are the heart of it all, but cameras drive this industry.
Right,
so
sexy.
Everybody wants, better image quality. They want more functionality out of the cameras. So I talked about edge encryption, things of that nature. Edge storage, we've got some really good solutions on the edge storage side. That can intertwine with the centralized storage. So cameras drive so much of our space, and we have a lot of new camera products coming out, more so than anything else, right, in volume-wise. So the cameras are, the push is to always try to meet the demand of the customer with bells and whistles, but not drive that price through the ceiling, right? But we're also not racing to zero on pricing either.
Right.
So that midpoint where really the blocking and tackling happens for integrators. They need to give people a good quality product at a good price, and we've got a lot of new products coming out in that kind of range, if you will.
That's great to hear. Well, it's been great spending some time with you. Thanks for giving us some insights into IDIS.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it as well.